Good evening, Panthers. Dan Smith was unable to be with us tonight for our No in the Snow, for what some are calling Snowmaggedon 2, since he was unable to leave the Sunshine State. I, Luke Farrell, will be your anchor for this evening. Tonight, I bring you distressing news for hopes of democracy in the Middle East. Yesterday, all of the Arab Republic of Egypt went dark. In his most repressive move of his nearly 30-year presidency, President Hosni Mubarak pulled the plug on Link Egypt, Vodafone Raya, Telecom Egypt, and Etisalat Misr, Egypt's 4 only ISPs. When protesters were able to gather information only by word of mouth, since mobile phone networks were also shut down, many protesters were shot by military police attempting to quell the uprising. Hosni Mubarak pulled the country deeper into tyranny when he announced that this Saturday he will use the country's emergency powers to form a new government. The Washington Post speculates that this will pull the Middle East into deeper destabilization, and I quote, "Mr. Mubarak is 82 and ailing, but by rejecting political liberalization and choosing deeper repression, he is paving the way for even worse developments, and once he dies, the struggle to succeed him begins. Mr. Mubarak's successors will need to gain political legitimacy. If they cannot do so through democracy, they will probably resort to nationalism or anti-Americanism." End quote. According to a contact for the Associated Press at Facebook, some network traffic is still able to make it through underground channels, since journalists are still able to make calls and protesters are becoming increasingly resourceful. In other news, much of the road network of the East Coast has been shut down by Mother Nature. In what AOL News is cleverly calling Snowmaggedon 2, almost 2 feet of snow have fallen on average on much of the East Coast in the past 4 snowstorms that have bombarded them. And it is clear that it is becoming more and more serious as snow continues to fall. Earlier this winter, New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg's leadership was called into question when he was on vacation and unable to make a decision concerning a small winter storm in December. According to our New York City correspondent, the winds of the most recent storm were powerful enough to blow snow into underground subway stations. Pittsburgh residents, however, thought they had a plan to make it through this one. Last week, PA residents saw an inundating flood of requests for shovels and de-icing equipment due to sheer anticipation. Now, not much more could be hoped for those north of Jacksonville than possibly hibernating until spring, when authority figures figure out just what to do with all of this snow. For Florida Tech this week, the 5th annual Applied Behaviors Analysis Conference was set for February 4th, and many fundraising activities geared up for the Relay for Life. Hosted by the Florida Institute of Technology's SPBASA, the Applied Behaviors Analysis Conference, titled A Conversation About Punishment, 3 Perspectives, will feature Merrill Winston, Matthew Israel, and Aubrey Daniels, all authorities on the subject. In academia, Department of Physics and Space Sciences professor Joe Dwyer has gained more and more notoriety for his cloud-breaking research on thunderstorms, being called a modern-day Benjamin Franklin by sources such as Nat Geo and a featured article on the nasa.gov homepage earlier this month. As for us here at FIT News, that's all for tonight. I'm Luke Farrell.